But in any case, he says, I like the first four, because they're all like the kinds of things that he likes people to think about himself. And so those are great commandments as far as he's concerned. And his friend says, what about the other six? He says, oh, those are for losers. So this is in our Sunday comics, if you get them. However, what are the Ten Commandments? Notice that there are some states now that are posting them on places and stuff. So this is a current political issue. I don't know why, because as you saw on the tablets, they were originally in Hebrew. A lot of people think of them as Christian. Why would they be Christian if they were originally Hebrew? Anybody? Is it that politically? Because Christianity adopted the Old Testament as part of its literature, right? So even though they're Hebrew, Jewish. You've heard that word, right? Jewish? Yes. Right. I'm old enough, I say whatever I think. So I apologize ahead of time. That was close. All right. So, I got to get back to business here. I was talking about how you get an A in the course, right? And so far I talked about the exams, the term project, which is 3,000 words on a philosopher that you pick, and remember to go to course content in Blackboard where I have an updated list, because some of the philosophers I had on the old list have died, so I moved them down to, I want you to use living philosophers, but some of them are still so close, like C.S. Lewis is on there. Like, more people write their term papers on C.S. Lewis than anyone else. But also Peterson. Are you familiar with Peterson? Well, Canadian philosopher, maybe? A lot of people like him. So that's interesting. So pick whoever you like, and the goal is for you to write 3,000 words. Does it have to be just about the philosopher's thought? Nope. Could be about their life. Could be about your thoughts about anything that they've said. So I'm more interested in your giving me 3,000 words and talking philosophically for that whole time period. That's what I'm looking to get you to do. And then the last one is the quiz question. And notice I'll do 2 quizzes each week, one for each class. And so the first one you got, what was the 10 Commandments? And just send me your response to that, and that's an A. Well, it's not like you actually have to remember, I am the Lord your God, there shall be no other gods before me. Don't curse or use my name in vain. Don't forget the Sabbath, honor the Sabbath. I was raised Roman Catholic, so the next one for me was honor mom and dad. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. It's perfectly fine to covet thy neighbor's husband. Here. This is clearly for males. This is a set of commandments for males. And thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's goods. The one, thou shalt not commit adultery, was really popular when President Clinton was president. Everyone remembered that. Because that was in the news, constantly. All right. So, that should be fun. And my quiz questions are, the quiz question about the 10 Commandments, that's about memory. Because what is the goal of this class? Not just for you to become familiar with all of those things that the committee thinks you have to, but this is one of those courses that's supposed to help you have a better life. And when we're talking about true and false statements, and we're talking about narratives, we're talking about things that are neither true nor false, problem with true or false statements is Aristotle invented that, as we will see. And I'm not sure that all languages can do that. And the reason for that, I'll show you. So if you go to the traditional square of opposition, which begins with Aristotle, notice you have 4 types of statements. Every subject is a predicate, is the predicate set. No subject is in the predicate set. Some subject is in the predicate set. Some subject is not in the predicate set. And as you put it on a square, you can see the relationships between them. So for example, all horses are animals. True or false?
True.
True. And this is the correspondence theory of truth. We fluently speak the language that I just used, and you know what a horse is according to that definition, basically. And you know that it's also an animal because of that definition, right? And so you know, yes, all horses are in the set of things that are animals, right? If I found some horse that is not an animal, and I don't mean like a little plastic, that's a contradiction, right? So this would have to be false if this is true, right? If I did find a horse that was not an animal, then this would be false. It would be false that the definition of horses includes animals, right? Same thing as cups and thermoses. Thermi? So no dog is a cat. That's true, right? Like the musical Cats. Memories all alone in the moonlight. Yes. It's a musical. People sing. And they're dressed like cats. That's just true. I'll show you.
This is it, folks. We need you to send a donation to help.
That's not my fault.
Tim Walz right now.
Those are commercials. See, those are supposed to be cats. It's a lie. No, it's false that they're cats. They're people dressed up in funny costumes. Some of the costumes are quite sexy. I'm heterosexual male, so I mean the ones that are female. So, sorry about that. I got it wrong. Okay, you can listen to the rest of it on your own. I'm going to play the whole thing. You can do that. How did I get to that? So no dogs or cats. So you could have seen where I was going with that. Could we have found a cat that was a dog? She's not a dog. She's a cat. She's supposed to be a cat. But she's just old. She's about ready to die. You're familiar with the musical She Dies That Night. And new life is born, right? So No dogs or cats. True, because we don't know of any that would, reciprocally, be a dog or a cat or a dog. But if I found some cat that is a dog, this would be false. So the interesting thing is all of our true or false statements have to be one of these 4 statement types. Somebody give me a true statement. Any true statement.
The sky is blue. False.
Yeah, what if it's cloudy? And it's gray? What if you live in England? It's hard sometimes. Both fluent speakers. Theoretically, we say the sky is blue. By the way, the ancient Greeks didn't have the color blue. The water is usually, we think of it as blue. There's multiple blues, by the way. But in Homer, talking about the wine red sea. What? No, it's not wine red. What the heck? Did the sea look wine red to the Greeks? There's something wrong with their eyes. Maybe their eyes evolved. Because we see blue today. Well, could it have been language that evolved? Could it have been that what they meant by wine red was the bubbly way that the ocean looked, kind of like wine? All kinds of interesting arguments over that. But they didn't have all the colors. And there was actually arguments over why is that the case. Well, normally I would say yes. Anything you pick, if it's the sky, it's blue. Maybe that's a bad one. Try it. Do you have a true sentence?
You have a beard.
I do have a beard. Everybody agree? Frankly, I've been growing it since COVID started. I thought, why? Why do all that nonsense, with the razor and stuff? So I do have a beard, and it's kind of a test. I'm trying to figure out what on earth was God thinking? Why do we grow these things? When you're like closing a book, ow, it hurts. I'm vacuuming with a shop vac, and the nozzle's way down there, but the segments of the hose suck my beard in. It's miserable. It hurts. So I'm not sure why, but if you look at God, pictures of God, they usually show God with a beard, which makes her look silly. I only have a couple minutes left, so this is fun. We'll talk more about that when we do Aristotle. Does anybody have any questions for me the last couple of minutes here? Yes.
Why don't you shave your beard when it gets hot?
Peer pressure. I have an 84-year-old friend who's very jealous because his beard is just very pointy, and every time he sees me, we talk via Zoom, my beard is like, and he's jealous. But at the same time, I've noticed that when I walk towards a door, young ladies will open it for me. Right here? But my wife would like me to trim it at least. She thinks, and I think she's right, that if I'm not dressed properly and I'm walking on the street, people will think I'm a homeless dude. And in fact, I had one lady at Freddy's look at me like, which I interpreted to mean, well, Any other questions? It's next door. By the way, if you go in there, there's a piece of art in the lobby. Well, I better not tell you that. It's too long and involved. Any other questions? By the way, I'm going to head upstairs. We have, the department is upstairs. We have chairs. We even have coffee and tea, although I don't know if we have any coffee or tea. But we have like a little hot thingy with water that we could refill, and I don't know about the stuff that would go in it. But